पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृत्रश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We were studying verses 13 and 14. 12 and 13. 12 and 13 combined we were studying. The enquiry of the three states of consciousness. Verse number 12 and 13 is about the study of the three states of consciousness and saying it is the jiva that goes through the three states of consciousness, and Brahman is different from the three. It is the jiva that goes through these three states. Jiva goes through these three states because of Maya. The word that he uses is Maya. You find the word Maya comes in the Samhita portions of the Vedas little bit. And then the word Maya disappears completely. Suddenly the word Maya reappears in one or two versions. In the portions, when the word Maya is used, it is used in the sense of a mystical power. Indra by his Maya, they say. Indra by his Maya. And then the word Maya goes out of discussion, karmas and all the other things comes. And then suddenly at the end portion, the word Maya reappears again. And the word Maya is a very, very important word in the study of Vedanta. The word Maya is very, very important. And what is the importance of this word Maya? Maya means that which is not. Maya means not that. Yaha ma saha Maya. That is the root. The root of the word Maya is this. Yaha ma saha Maya. To put it in a very simple way, Maya means what you cannot say it with certainty. If you can make if you can come to a certain conclusion, it is real. Maya means you cannot come to a certainty. You cannot come to a absolute conclusion. What is that absolute conclusion? Is the world there? You cannot say, yes, it is there. Neither you can say, no, it is not there. If you say world is not there, then what are you attached to? What is your worry and anxiety? What is the pain that you are going through? The joy that you are experiencing? So you are experiencing some joy, you are experiencing some sorrow, but nevertheless you are experiencing. Therefore, you cannot deny your own experience. If you are denying your own experience, then there is something wrong. Therefore, you cannot say the world is not there. Neither can you say it is there always. So, Maya means about that you cannot come to a conclusion. You cannot say it is there, neither you can say it is not there. That's why it's called Maya. ஏதோ இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்குது, but you really can't say whether something is there or not. This formula, Brahman alone exists. Brahman alone exists. We don't understand that, but then this is what the Upanishad says, Brahman alone exists. If Brahman alone existing, if Brahman alone is the reality, then how did this entire thing came about? What is that caused to this creation? Now, normal question. Are you able to follow? Second, if Brahman alone exists, and if the nature of Brahman is, if the Swabhava of Brahman is Ananda, bliss, from where does the Jiva experiencing Sukha and Dukkha? If it is coming out of Brahman, means it should have the Swabhava of Ananda only. It cannot have the Swabhava of Sukha and Dukkha. So, we say Brahman alone existence is completely wrong. Are you able to follow? So, we come to the conclusion that what the Upanishad says as Brahman alone exists is not, we are also swallowing, but it doesn't accept, it is not acceptable for under any reasoning, it is not acceptable. Are you able to follow? First, they say Brahman alone exists. Second, they say the Swarupa of Brahman is Ananda. So, if something has come out of it, Sukha Dukkha cannot come. It should also have the property of Ananda only. Then where does this Sukha come? Where does this Dukkha come? For which the answer is, are you experiencing Sukha? Yes, that is Maya. Are you experiencing Dukkha? Yes, that is Maya. Are you able to follow? Are you experiencing Sukha? Your answer is yes. That's Maya. Are you experiencing Dukkha? Yes, I am experiencing Dukkha. That is because of Maya. Then the question is, what is Maya? Then the question becomes, what is Maya? What is Maya? A projection, an illusory projection. An illusory projection that comes out of the reality. The standard example is just as the snake comes out of the rope, the ghost comes out of a post. There is only a ghost, but then looking at a distance, there is only the post. Looking at a distance, the post appears to be a ghost. Upon nearing it, you understand that there is no. Upon nearing it, you understand that there is no ghost. It is only a post. Are you okay till now? Now, what is the cause that made you to say it is not a ghost, it is a post? What made you to say that it is not a snake, it is a rope? What made you to say that? Knowledge. The right knowledge. Are you able to follow? Because of not having the right knowledge, the rope is misunderstood as snake. Because of not having the right knowledge, the post is misunderstood as ghost. The moment you have cognition of the right knowledge, the moment you understand what is that right knowledge, immediately you understand. What do you understand? What you saw as ghost is a post. What you saw as snake is a rope. What you saw as sukha and dukkha. What you saw as birth and death. Ipo post and ghost utrungo. Rope and snake utrungo. Come to what is it that we see? What is it that we see? We see sukha, dukkha. We see punarjanma. Okay, forget punarjanma because that is also too much to comprehend. We see sukha and dukkha. Then we examine the sukha and dukkha. Then we examine sukha and dukkha. Upon examination, you come to understand that the sukha and dukkha is your projection. Per se, it doesn't exist. Therefore, it is Maya. You understand? Are you able to follow? So, you examine sukha and dukkha. When you examine sukha and dukkha, you understand per se it doesn't have sukha and dukkha. It is something that you get it. Per se there is no sukha, per se there is no dukkha. Are you able to follow? How do you understand per se there is no sukha or per se there is no dukkha? A person in themselves can neither give sukha or dukkha. It's only your what? Per se the person exists. Understand the difference. Per se the person exists. But sukha and dukkha is not because of that person's existence. Sukha and dukkha is because of the way in which you interact. Therefore, you understand the objects and beings don't have sukha or dukkha. It is the way in which you relate to that object or being that gives you the experience of sukha or dukkha. But sir, how do you explain this? How do you explain this? One human being met with an accident. One human being met with an accident. What is the big newspaper headlines about it? What is the big newspaper headline? You won't even register it. Somebody known to you met with an accident. You will say, okay, from COVID-19 la mudito, then we will go and find out what it is. Your son or daughter met with that accident. It makes immediately a difference. Are you able to follow? Accident is what that happens, but sukha and dukkha is not because of the accident. Sukha and dukkha is because of the relationship that you have. So sukha and dukkha is the product of your relationship, not because of the existence. Idu purino first. This has to be clearly understood. If existence itself can cause sukha and dukkha, it should cause sukha and dukkha to everybody. It doesn't know. The same person causes sukha to one, the same person causes dukkha to another. Person is the same. The same person sometimes causes sukha, sometimes causes dukkha. The same person. So, per se, if it is sukha all the time. Per se, if it is dukkha, it has to give dukkha all the time. The very fact that it is neither giving sukha or dukkha constantly, but it is alternating. Because of what it is alternating? Alternatively, you are experiencing the sukha and dukkha. This alternative experiences of sukha and dukkha is not because of the object, is not because of the being, it is because of your changing is because of your changing, fill in the blanks. It is because of your changing mind. It is because of your changing mind. Are you okay till now? Okay. Does that mean mind is real? Where is Maya now? Does that mean the mind is real? No, no, no. Mind is also not real. Why mind is not real? Because if it is real, you can never get out of it. If it is real, you can never know the alternative. The very fact that you are knowing the alternative means it is not real. For example, if slavery is real, freedom will never. Are you able to follow? If slavery is real, the concept of freedom itself doesn't arise. But a free person can become a slave. That is possible. In fact, it is a free person who can become a slave. It is a free person who can become a slave. Therefore, freedom is of intrinsic nature. You can temporarily become a slave. The temporary position that you have as a slave is called Maya. The temporary status of yours where you feel that you are in bondage. The temporary status is called, the temporary status of slavery is called Maya. Are you able to follow? Saeva Maya Parimohitatma. That's the mantra. So by its own Maya, lastly, remember, Maya is that which you can create. Your mind can create. Maya doesn't come from anything external. Maya means it is of your own creation. Correct? Huh? Rope never created snake. Out of Maya, you created the snake out of rope. Out of Maya, you created the ghost out of the post. Swamayaya. Own Maya. One's own Maya it is. It creates its own Maya. But how can the mind create a fantastic Maya like that? How can the mind create a fantastic Maya like that? Is the mind that powerful? Is that mind that capable? Yes. Puriliye. Swapne. Like in your dream, your mind creates. Are you able to follow? First they say mind creates Maya. Then you will ask, is mind that? Is mind that great? Is mind that powerful that it can create what do you say? Universal expression? I don't know what word to use. Is the mind that capable of creating something? The answer is yes. But Puriliye, I'm not able to accept it. I'm not able to understand it. I'm not able to digest it. Are you not doing it every day when you go to? In Swapna, in dream state, what are you doing? You means the mind. You means the mind. So in the dream state, what is the mind doing in the dream? It is creating a fantastic expression of experiences. It is creating its own loka. It is creating its own sun. It is creating its own moon, the flora, the fauna, everything it is creating. And what is all that? What is all that? It is Maya. How do you say it is Maya? Having woken up, you know what? Having woken up, what do you know? Even when it is happening, even carefully follow the Maya. Even when the dream was happening, it didn't happen. Are you able to follow? Dreamapathy. Even when it is happening, it wasn't happening. Ingada Upanishad demands us either we stretch our thinking or we close the book. That is where Upanishad says, stretch your thinking and come. Because when it is happening also, it is not happening. Yes, obviously the dreamer will not be able to accept it. Obviously the dreamer will not be able to accept it while dreaming. What are we talking? Having woken up, you understand, even when it is happening, it wasn't happening. Then what do you call that happening? What do you call that? Because you are still palpitating, no? You had a nightmare. You are still palpitating. You are still sweating in the air-conditioned room. You are in the air-conditioned room. You are sweating and screaming and palpitating. Though you experience, it is not real. Are you okay till now? Therefore, what is Maya? Maya means that which you experience is not real. Mayaன்றது புரிஞ்சதுன்னா அப்புறம் தூங்கவே முடியாது. You can't sleep after that. For what you are experiencing is not real. What is it that you are experiencing? Ultimately, you are experiencing only two things: sukha, dukkha. See, ultimately, are you able to follow? All experiences boils down to these two: sukha or dukkha. And when they say, when you are experiencing sukha, it is not happening. When you are experiencing dukkha, it is not happening. Na, we will say, அது நீங்க experience பண்ணா, you will not talk like that. Since you are not experiencing, it is easy to talk. Are you able to follow? We cannot agree with this idea, this Upanishadic idea of Maya. We cannot agree with the Upanishadic idea of Maya. What is the Upanishadic idea of Maya? What is the Upanishadic truth about Maya? What you are experiencing is not happening. Class is happening, correct sir. Class is not happening. Class is happening. Idum Maya da. Class is idum part of the same. Idum Maya da. So what is Maya? Maya means as you are experiencing, you understand that it is not happening. இது கொஞ்சம் வேற மாதிரி இல்ல போயிட்டு இருக்கு இப்போ. It is like a logical way of going mad மாதிரி இருக்கு இது. A logical way of becoming insane. As you are experiencing, you have to understand it as not happening. It looks like a very logical way of going mad insane. No. Why? Because by this understanding of Maya, what happens? There is a tranquility. The experience of sukha dukkha goes, tranquility comes. The whole idea of Maya will not make you insane or depressed or sad. There will be a tranquility. There will be a tranquility. What is the tranquility? As it is happening, it is not happening. Just as the dream was happening, There was no dream that is happening. Aravindan won Nobel Prize in the dream. கேட்கும்போது எவ்வளவு நல்லா இருக்கு. எனக்கு நல்லா இருக்கு, உங்களுக்கு சிரிப்பா இருக்கு. உங்களுக்கும் நோபல் பிரைஸ் என்ன இல்லையா, உங்களுக்கு சிரிப்பா இருக்கும். You will laugh at me, but I am like, wow, the thought itself. I get Nobel Prize where in the dream. So even when I am getting the Nobel Prize in the dream, after waking up, I understand what? There is no Nobel, there is no Nobel, there is no Nobel Prize, there is no winning, there is no nothing. What is Maya? What is the Jiva? Are you able to follow now? The Jiva, the other side of the coin is Maya. One side of the coin you call it as Jiva, the other side of the coin becomes Maya. Because Jiva is that which is, Jiva is that which experiences what is not there. Jiva is that which experiences what is not there. What it is what is there, it cannot experience. What is not there, it can experience. Jiva. What is there? Brahman is there. And that Brahman Jiva cannot. And that Brahman Jiva cannot experience. And dreamer cannot experience the waker. The dreamer can only become the waker. The dreamer cannot experience the waker. The dreamer can only become the waker. So becoming means, so what is becoming means? Becoming means dissolution. Becoming means dissolution. So the dreamer becoming the waker means it is not the dreamer that is becoming the waker. The dreamer dissolves and the dreamer becomes the waker. It is not a rich, it is not a poor man becoming rich. It is not an illiterate person becoming literate. Not in that sense. Please understand. Becoming means a illiterate becoming literate. Yeah. A illiterate becoming literate. A poor person becoming rich person. Jiva becoming Brahman is not like that. Jiva becoming Brahman is not like that. For the Jiva disappears, the Jiva dissolves. Yeah, it is like, yeah, when something comes in contact with the acid, it just melts away. No traces of it will be there. Jiva will become like that. That is what is known as becoming. That's what is known as experiencing Brahman, becoming Brahman. It is not the rich person becoming. It is not the illiterate becoming literate. Not in that sense becoming. This is what is called Maya. This is what is called Maya. And this Maya projects 3 states. And the Maya projects 3 states. What are the 3 states? Waking, dream, deep sleep. Waking, dream, deep sleep. Waking, dream, deep sleep. So mantras 12 and 13 beautifully talks about the mantras 12 and 13 beautifully talks about the 3 states, and it says the 3 states is because of Maya. திருப்பி எதுக்குள்ள அது வந்துட்டே இருக்கு? Why these 3 are cyclically happening again and again and again? ஒரு வாட்டி முடிச்சிட்டு வெல்ல வர வேண்டியதானே? Why it is happening again and again and again? Mantra 14. Mantra 14. அது பாட்டுல ஏன் நிக்க மாட்டேன்றது? Why it is not stopping? Why it is appearing again and again and again, happening again and again and again? Mantra number 14. Venkat, என் கூடவே சேர்ந்து நீங்களும் படிங்க. Mantra 14. So that I will take a break for 1 minute. Mantra 14. Punascha janmantara karma yoga saeva jiva swapiti prabhuddha. Puratraye kridati yascha jivaha tatastu jatam sakalam vichitram. Adharamanandam akanda bodham yasmin layam yati puratrayam cha. Another beautiful mantra. Another beautiful mantra. Padinga Parvati.
Punascha janmantara karma yoga saeva jiva swapiti prabhuddha. Puratraye kridati yascha jiva tastu jatam sakalam vichitram. Adharamanandam bodham yasmin layam yati puratrayam cha.
Punascha janmantara karma yogat. Again, through connection with actions of previous birth, that individual self alone dreams, awakes, and plays in the three cities. From him indeed arises the pluralistic phenomena, and into whom the substratum, bliss, unbroken consciousness, the three cities dissolve. Puratraye kridati, it plays, it is playing around. First thing that he is saying is Punascha janmantara karma yogat. Punaha janma antara karma yoga. That is the Sanskrit. We have to pirikkum both. Apdi pirichu padicha, it becomes easy. Antara karma yoga means what? Because of the previous karma. What is the previous karma? Because of whatever the previous karma of papa and punya, there is, as soon as it enters a body, it develops an abhimana with that body. It develops an attachment with the body. There is that of the minor Upanishads. When we say minor, totally we accept there are 108 Upanishads. Totally there are 236 Upanishads. Of the 236, 108 are considered orthodox. Of the 108, 10 are considered very important, and Kaivalya doesn't belong to that 10. We saw that already. Of the minor Upanishads, there is one of the Upanishads, Garbhopanishad, it's called. It's called Garbhopanishad. What happens leaving the Sharira and entering into the Garbha and coming out of Garbha? It's a very dramatic presentation. Very, very dramatic presentation, but in my personal opinion, I believe it to be true. Yeah, when I'm saying in my personal opinion, and I believe it to be true because of the Shraddha that I have, that Upanishad, it is true under the Shraddha. For no way it is proven in a test tube. No way it is proven outside. But you can, through logic and reason, you can understand how it is true. So, the Garbhopanishad says this. And the Jiva, when does the Jiva gets the Sharira Abhimana? At what point it gets the Sharira Abhimana? It says the Sharira, and when does it lose the Sharira Abhimana? When it will lose the Sharira Abhimana, and when does it get the Sharira Abhimana? அதுக்கோசரம் கூகுள் பண்ணி கர்ப்போபனிஷத்துல தெச்சன் படிக்காதீங்க சார். கர்ப்போபனிஷத்துல இதெல்லாம் இல்லவே இல்லைன்னு you will tell me after that, because it is there in the Sanskrit slokas. So he says what happens in that is this: when the jiva is coming out, before the few moments before it can come out, in that few moments it takes a resolve, it takes a vow. What is the vow? That because it is entering no. So it knows that it has got nothing to do with it. It knows that I am not the body. It knows that. That's why when it is entering, it takes the vow that this is the last. I am not going to do this anymore. That's our last. ஒரே ஒரு வாட்டி திருட போறேன் அவ்வளவுதான். இனிமே I will not. The fellow says no, only one time, and after this I am not going to do this anymore. The jiva takes that vow, as it were. When it, as soon as it comes out of the womb, because of Maya, ange Maya that they use. Because of Maya, what it saw as I am entering the body, what it says as I am entering the body, in a few seconds, as it is coming out, it starts saying I am the body, and it forgets. What does it forget? What does it forget? I entered the body, it forgets. And it becomes, and it starts saying I am the body. Why it is so strong? Antara karma. Antara karma means the past karma. The past karmas of papa and punya which you have to experience, the past papa and punya which you have to experience as sukha and dukkha. The papa and punya you will experience it as, you will not experience it as papa or punya. You will experience it as sukha or dukkha. So it is the experience of sukha and dukkha is experiencing papa and punya. So when you are experiencing this papa and punya, because of you have to experience this papa or punya, what happens? I am occupying the body என்றது மறந்து போய் it says I am the body. It starts saying I am the body. People will say இதெல்லாம் stories sir கேட்கிறதுக்கு தான் நல்லா இருக்கு, but it doesn't really happen in this way. Ya pashyati sa pashyati. Whoever sees it sees it. Punasya janmantara karma yogat jivaha. He keeps using the word jiva, jiva, jiva. Jiva I have explained as a formless genderless entity. A formless genderless entity which has to get into a form to experience sukha and dukkha. We have seen it any number of times. I'm not getting into that definition. Jiva means a nameless genderless formless entity which enters into a name, a form to experience the karma phala. What is the karma phala? Sukha and the karma phala is sukha and dukkha. Puratraye. Traye means three. What are the three? What are the three? The waking, the dream, the deep sleep. What are the three? From waking, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. In Jagrat, objective world. In Swapna, created world. In Jagrat, you are experiencing the objective world. In Swapna, it is the world created by oneself. And then comes Sushupti. Jiva Kridati, it plays, it sports, after a while gets tired, takes rest for a while. Temporary rest, deep sleep, or long rest, death. Temporary rest is deep sleep. Long rest is death. Only to get into நல்லா தூங்கி ரெஸ்ட் எடுக்கணும் சார். For what? For what? Waking up again. You need that energy to go through, and with all the you need that energy to go through and do what? Get tired and sleep. Puratraye kridati punaha. Again and again the jiva keeps doing these three. When did this start? The process alla eppa aarambichudhu? When did this process start? It is cyclical. It is cyclical. Cyclical means the beginning cannot be determined. When we say it is a cyclical process, the beginning cannot be determined. Then only it can be called as cyclical. Are you able to follow? Cyclical means no beginning, no end. That's only, then only can be a cycle. Tree come first or seed come first? It's a cycle, because it cannot be conclusively determined to say out of seed comes the tree. Then the question is, and the seed engendu vandadu? For the seed to come, it needs a tree. For the tree to come, it needs a seed. It's a cyclical process. It's a cyclical process. So in a cyclical process, you can never ask, it is a very fallacious question to ask what comes first. Are you able to follow? That's why people ask, when did creation start? How did creation happen? Vedanta says it's a wrong question. It's a question that is fallacious by nature. What is the fallacy in that question? Because anything cyclical, you cannot say what comes first. Solid turn into liquid, liquid turn into gas, gas turn into solid. You cannot really say what comes. You really cannot say what comes first. Shankaracharya, in one of the commentaries, he says, you see the, maybe he's talking in Badrinath. Maybe he was giving the discourse in Badrinath. He shows the sheet of ice, asking the students, what is it? Is it ice, or is it water, or is it vapor? What is it? Are you able to follow? What is it? What would you call that as? It has a name, it has a function, it has a form, but the origin is unknown. That only it is, that's called a cycle. Are you able to follow? It has a name, it has a form, it has a function. It has a nama, it has a rupa, it has a kriya. It has a name, it has a form, it has a function, but what you cannot know, the origin cannot be known, because it is cyclical. Therefore he says punaha, again and again and again it goes into, again and again they go through this. In the Bhagavad Gita, he puts it directly. At least in Kaivalya Upanishad, we have to interpret all that. In Bhagavad Gita, he puts it very directly. Where does he put? Chapter 15, verse number 3. In chapter 15, verse number 3, he says, Asangasastrena dridena chitva. In that verse, which is very famous and oft-quoted verse. We have seen it any number of times. Asangasastrena dridena chitva. Narupamapyeha tatopalabhyaha. That is the verse. Its form here is not perceived as such. Neither its end nor its foundation. But it can be cut with detachment. He says it is, he puts it very, he takes the symbolic form of the people tree there. He takes the symbolic form of Ashwatha tree. So Ashwatha tree, he says, its form is not perceived here, neither its beginning nor its beginning nor its end, but you can cut it. Asanga shastrena dridena chitva. Now we are not talking about asanga shastrena. We are only discussing what is anadi in this. Anadi means beginningless. Beginningless means cyclical. And what does cyclical means? Out of summer does monsoon come, or out of monsoon comes? You cannot conclusively say out of this comes this. What is the first? You cannot say that. You cannot say that. Therefore, it is called cyclical. Are you able to follow? This is called the cycle of life. This is called the cycle of life. The cycle of life, the origin cannot be understood, but it can be transcended. Upon transcending, you understand that it never happened. Just as the dreamer becoming the waker understands that when did the dream begin? See, having woken up, you will not say dream began at so and so time. No. Will you say that? If you say dream began at so and so time, you have not yet woken up. Because having woken up, you will say it never had a beginning. It never had an. You can't say dream started when I fell off to sleep and dream ended when I woke up. Can you say that? Linguistically, you can say that. But then it is not, when you are sitting and analyzing it, you know that you cannot. You know that you cannot say that. But you cannot say that because even when it is happening, it is not happening. No. Are you able to follow? Even when it is happening, if it is not happening, how can you give it a beginning and an end? If you can give it a beginning and an end, it makes it real. If you can give it a beginning and an end, then it makes it real. Therefore, he says, Puratrayam, 3 cities. Ellame Trayam da. Body, mind, intellect. Puratrayam, Shariratrayam, Avastha Trayam. All are Trayam only. Trayam na 3. So the Jiva knocks about in these 3. Jiva knocks about in these 3 cities. What are the 3 cities? You can say waking, dream, deep sleep. You can say gross, subtle, causal. You can say Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. You can say anything you can say. All are means Trayam, 3, 3, 3. What is the 3? The cycle. He is referring to the dreams, awakes and plays in the 3 cities. Kridati. Kridati literally means plays. In the modern day language, you have to understand Kridati means experiences. Kridati means plays. Plays means experiences. And we have seen already that when you are experiencing in the distinction of subject-object, where you discriminate the subject and the object, you say experience means it is of the object and I have nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do with it. From him indeed arises the pluralistic phenomena. From him is the konjam challenging. From him arises the pluralistic phenomena. From him arises the pluralistic phenomena in the sense, from rope arose the snake. From rope arose the snake, in that sense. The mantra that talks about reincarnation. All morality, all virtues, everything in life becomes meaningful only when you understand reincarnation. Dharma, morality, virtue, all that becomes meaningful only when you understand reincarnation. For it is the reincarnation that explains your current status, and it is the reincarnation that explains that you can be different from what you are. Are you able to follow? Therefore, Vedanta has this again and again and again. It talks about the reincarnation. Actually, it should be called the law of reincarnation. The theory of reincarnation, we should call it as the law of reincarnation. But the word theory is used because to give it a tinge of openness. What is the openness? People say, actually speaking, எவ்வளவுதான் சொன்னாலும் அந்த ரீஇன்கார்னேஷன்ன்றதுல ஒரு பெருசா ஒரு ரீஇன்கார்னேஷன்ல ஒன்னும் பெருசா ஒரு Shraddha and understanding didn't come. Are you able to follow? It didn't come. If it has come, then the Sharira Abhimana and all will go, negativity and all will go, because you know that you are going to pay the price. Alertness comes. You will not be very relaxed, as we are so relaxed now. We will not be that relaxed. The very understanding of the reincarnation. What is reincarnation? Reincarnation is an expression of cause and effect. Reincarnation is an expression of cause and effect. Cause and effect manifest in two ways. One is instant, immediate. Another is over a period of time. Where it is instant, immediate, cause and effect can be understood very clearly. Like you put your fingers in the fire, it is burnt immediately. So cause and effect is immediate. Straight away you can understand that. There are expressions of cause and effect where it spreads over a long period of time. Some of the tribes cannot believe that the union of the male and female is that which produces the child, because it takes. The union happened 9 months back. The childbirth is happening much later. How can you even correlate the two? Are you able to follow? So some cause and effect is immediate. In some, cause and effect is spread over a period of time. Where it is spread over a period of time, you need to see it through the third eye, the eye of wisdom. In the kannala paaka mudiyadhu. You can't see it through these two eyes. You need to see it through the eyes of wisdom. Shiva has the third eye, the eye of wisdom. He is able to see. He is able to see. What is he able to see? He is able to see the difference. What is the difference that he is seeing? The time. The time. in reincarnation, Kala plays a vital role. Kala means the time. Time, cause and effect. Since we are not able to perceive it, since we are not able to connect the two, we say it is, we say, அது என்னால பார்க்க முடியலையே, therefore it doesn't exist. Yeah, therefore it doesn't exist. அது வந்து, that is a fallacy of pratyaksha pramanam. That is a fallacy of wholly relying on pratyaksha as a pramanam. If you rely on pratyaksha as a pramanam, you can never accept reincarnation. You can never accept law of karma, because law of karma is not pratyaksha, for it is spread over a period of time. Therefore, what is that? The three shariras, the three puras, the three cities are burnt by jnanam. Who's a jnani? In some of the Puranas, you have heard, no? Shiva burning the three cities. Tripura Dahanam. Have you heard that Puranic story? Where Shiva burns three cities? As he's saying. That is the reference here. Tripura Dahanam. He burns the three cities. What are the three cities that he burns? The three lokas he burns. What are the three lokas? What are the three lokas? Upper, middle, and lower. Where are we? We are in the middle. Upper is Swarga, lower is Naraka, the middle is the Karma Bhumi. Shiva burns all the three. It's called Tripura Dahanam. Tripura Dahanam means burning the three cities. What are the symbolic it is? There's no Shiva literally burning the three cities. What is it? What are the three cities? The three states of consciousness, the three bodies, the three lokas, the three gunas, trayam, trayam, trayam. Engallam trayam, trayam, trayam nu vardo, Shiva will come and burn it up. Or every jiva becomes a Shiva if they burn it. The jiva becomes the jnani. The jiva becomes the jnani. How the jiva becomes the jnani? By burning these three. What is his focus now? இதெல்லாம் நடந்துன்னு இருக்குது. Don't get involved in these things. Burn this and get out. That is the message. All these are happening. All these are happening. Get out. Get out of that. Swayam prakashate Atma. It is Swayam. It is Swayam means of its own. Of its own. In the Brahma Yajna, every day you are supposed to do Brahma Yajna. In the Brahma Yajna, you are supposed to say Brahmanam Swayambhuvam. You are supposed to say, yeah, Brahmanam Swayambhuvam. Brahmanam Swayambhuvam. This Brahman is a Swayam. Swayam means of its own. Of its own. And what is it of its own? Adharam, Anandam, Akanda Bodham. 3. இங்கே ஒரு 3 கொடுத்துட்டாரு. அந்த 3ன்றது அந்த 3க்கு கம்பேரிசனா இங்க ஒரு 3. Clear? For that 3, this 3. What is the 3 here? Adharam, Anandam, Akandam. And he uses a very beautiful word. The beautiful word that he uses to describe playing in the 3 cities is Vichitram. That's the word. இதெல்லாம் இந்த மந்திரால இருக்கிற வேர்ட்ஸ். அதனால தான் நான் புக்கை பார்த்து படிக்கிறேன். For these are the words in the mantras. He says Vichitram. Vichitram means it is ரொம்ப விசித்திரமா இருக்குதுன்னா what does it mean? It is unique, not in the positive sense unique. Weird. Vichitram means weird. Are you able to follow? பேசுறது ரொம்ப விசித்திரமா இருக்கேன்னா what does it mean? Are you able to follow? அவன் பண்ற காரியங்கள்லாம் ரொம்ப விசித்திரமா இருக்குப்பா. When we say that, what does it mean? So Vichitra means it is weird. What is the weirdity? What is the weirdity? A sober man thinking that he is drunk. That is, a drunken man thinking, behaving like a drunken man is understandable. I drink water and I think that I have drunk something and I am behaving like a drunken man. That is called Vichitram. Puriyarda? The fellow will say, water, why are you making it? Are you able to follow? What is Vichitram? This is called Vichitram. Weird it is. Something which is so different. Beautiful word is this. Now, what is the Vichitram? Sakalam Vichitram Jatam. Know everything as, understand everything is Vichitram. Sakalam Vichitram Jatam. Understand this entire creation is a Vichitram. Chitram na Maya. Vichitram means again it is Maya, because you really can't say what it is. What makes you to sleep, he has said. And what is the process of waking up? Reversing it. What made you to sleep? What made you to sleep? Punascha Janmantara Karma Yogat. Adalla solliyaachu. So what made you to sleep? The Deha Abhimana. What has caused the sleep? Instead of saying, I am in the body, you say, I am the body. So the process of waking up is what? Exactly the opposite of what made you to sleep, no? What made you to sleep? Deha Abhimana. Now what is the process of waking up? Disidentify with the dream body. இது ஒரு dream body. இது ஒரு dream mind. இது ஒரு dream intellect. இதெல்லாம் dream prapancha. This entire creation is a dream. So from the dream you disidentify. From the dream you disidentify. And very difficult is to disidentify. Very difficult is to identify. Why very difficult to disidentify? Because the Purva karmas are so strong that you have to experience this. This Sukha and the Dukkha of the Purva karmas is so strong. Not that it is so strong. The current effort is so powerless about it. ஒரு வீரியம் இல்ல, அவ்வளவுதான். There is no வீரியம் in the current effort. There is no வீரியம் in the present effort. Because of the lack of வீரியம் in the present effort, the deha abhimana, the identification is so appearing so strong that we are not able to give up. You know, actually speaking, we don't want to give up. We have started liking it. That is the real reason. Even yesterday, she was telling me, I want to give up. I want to give up. I said, who's stopping you? Who's stopping you? Verbally, you are saying, I want to give up. But deep down, you don't want to give up. You have developed an attachment to it. That's why, even though verbally you say, I don't want it, I don't want it, I want to give up, and all that, verbally it is said, but deep inside, you don't want to give up. You don't want to let go. Why? Because the sukha is still tempting. The sukha is still, dukkha nivritti and sukha prakti is still very, very tempting. Adu maya andradhu innum, it is maya அப்படின்ற அந்த ஒரு theoretical understanding kuda has not yet come. That is why, how much ever you hear, why? Because you still have a deep affinity to that. You still have a, so the punascha janmantara karma yoga is so powerful because the present effort is powerless. Viryam illa. You understand the word viryam, no? You understand the word viryam, isn't it? There is no strength in that. It is so flimsy, so powerless is the effort to wake up. Please understand. Powerless is the effort you put to wake up, but you put in a lot of effort to avoid dukkha and court to sukha. Lot of effort is done to avoid dukkha and court to sukha, but feeble effort to cross over sukha and dukkha. Why? Because the sukha is still very, very tempting. Sukham varumbodhu nalla dhaan irukku. When things are in your favor, when things go in your favor, when things are in the way that you want, it is still very, it is nice only, no? I am not able to be objective then. When things are going in my way, I am not able to be objective. In the Sthita Prajna portion, in verse number 56, sorry, not 55. 55 is the definition of a Sthita Prajna. In verse number 56, he says, he is matured in handling sukha and dukkha. Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha, sukeshu vigata spruhaha, vitaraga bayakrodha, sthitadir muni ruchyate. Verse number 56, chapter 2. Vitaraga bayakrodha, sthitadir muni uchyate. This person is known as a Sthita Prajna, whom dukkeshu anudvigna manaha, sukeshu vigata spruhaha. Dukkam vanda, he is not collapsed. Sukham vanda, he is not elated. When sukha comes, he is not elated. When dukkha comes, he is not depressed, because he understands agama payinaha anityaha. Because he has understood knowledge. Why? What is the knowledge? It is agama payinaha, it is anityaha. அதுவும் அந்த சுகம் இருக்கே, அது இருக்கிறது என்னமோ 1 or 2 minutes தான், இருக்கிறது என்னமோ 1 or 2 seconds தான். But you will wait for the 2 seconds for decades also sometimes. For decades also you will wait for that 2 seconds. Why? Because it is still very tempting. அது இன்னைக்காவது ஒரு நாளைக்கு எல்லாம் சரியாயிடும்ல சார். One day everything will be all right, no? Yeah, it will be all right. Habbadan ukkarathukkulla something will habbadan ukkarathukkulla something else will happen. Agama payinaha anityaha. So what is the vichitra? What is the vichitra? It is agama payinaha, it is anityaha, but still the mind keeps falling for it. You know it is that and still you fall for it. It means what? You are yet to know it. தெரிஞ்சே தப்பு பண்றேனே சார். I said no. தெரிஞ்சு தப்பு பண்ண முடியாது. If you have known it, you will not. Are you able to follow? If you know it, you can never do it. If you are doing it means deep down you do not know it. Are you able to follow? தெரிஞ்சே பண்ண what to do? Impossible. That possibility doesn't exist at all. For a person makes a mistake out of ignorance only. Out of ignorance. I know it is wrong, sir, but still I am doing it. I don't know. Yeah. அது வந்து நமக்கே கார்லண்ட் போட்டுக்கிற மாதிரி இல்லையா? எனக்கு நானே சர்டிபிகேட் கொடுத்துக்கிற மாதிரி இல்லையா? I certificate myself, I garland myself. It doesn't happen that way. If you know it, you will not do it. If you are doing it, you have not yet known it. That's vichitram. What is vichitram? Looks like you know. Supposing if a person says, I know if I touch fire, my finger will burn. தெரிஞ்சேதா நான் போய் கையை விட்டேன்னா will anybody do it? Will you, unless you have suicidal tendencies or something, will you voluntarily put your the Upanishads examples, instead of those are the ipala electric stoves, no? So we really don't, those examples are not used. Those are the days where wood is used, firewood. Layer. When the firewood is missing, will you keep your hand inside? Will you keep it? You cannot. Impossible. Are you able to follow? Vichitram. Vichitram. You don't know it and you believe you know it. That is vichitram. And then you say, sir. I know it, sir, but I am making the mistake. You don't even want to accept that you don't know it. You don't know it. Are you able to follow? You don't want to accept the fact that you still do not know it. I know killing is wrong, sir, but terinjeda I murdered 3 fellows. Will you do that? Will you do that? I know using bad words is wrong, but I am using it. Will you do that? If you are using it now, you do not know it. Are you able to follow? That is vichitram. Sakalam vichitram jatam. All that is happening in this creation is vichitram. And then finally he says, what is the process? The process of waking up, recognizing. What is recognizing? Akandam, adharam, akanda bodham. Adharam means substratum. I'll continue with the verse in the next Thursday also. I'll continue with the same verse. ஏன்னா இது முடிஞ்சாச்சுனாக்கா அவ்வளவுதான். அதுக்கப்புறமா எல்லாம் டாக்ஸ் அபவுட் பிரம்மன் தான். Next 4 verses will be talking about Brahman only. அதெல்லாம் 10 நிமிஷத்துல முடிச்சிடலாம். சர்ன்னு we can just read through. We can read through those qualities of Brahman. For what is there to discuss in the qualities and attributes of Brahman? Very, very, very powerful verse. Adharam, Akandabodham, Anandam. Knowing this is the process of waking up. How knowing this is the process of waking up is what we will discuss in the next session. For today, we understand it is Vichitram. The 3 cities, it is Vichitram. What is Vichitram? Weird. Weird. What is weird? I know I should not do, but I am doing it. அதுதான் விசித்திரம். அது பண்ணக்கூடாது நல்லா தெரிஞ்சே நான் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார். I just got tempted. Under normal circumstances, I will not do it. I just got tempted. What is temptation? Temptation is craving for sukha. When the hope for sukha came, you got tempted. Are you able to follow? So it means the craving for sukha is there. When the craving for sukha is there, you will get tempted. What is the temptation? Craving for sukham. And if you see there is a promise of sukham in that, there is a hope of sukham in that, you would fall. So it is the sukha and dukkham only. Though knowing it is agama payinaha nityaha and all that, you fall for the sukha and dukkha. Because of what? Punasya Janmantara Karma Yoga. Again, through connection with actions of previous birth, that individual self, the Jiva, dreams, awakes, and plays in the 3 cities. From him arises the pluralistic phenomena, and into whom the 3 cities dissolve. It comes out of him and dissolves back into him. The snake comes out of rope and dissolves back into the rope. And what is the snake? Snake is the adharam for, what is the rope? The rope is the adharam for the snake. The rope is the substratum, adharam. Adharam means the substratum, the foundation. With this, we conclude for today, and we continue this verse in the next session.